The people were so nice. The staff is amazing.
I can believe that.
They're like, oh, we don't really order the food from here. Um, the spot next door runs the food. If it was up to us, it'd be good.
It's Hockey Town, USA.
The two places when I went on tour with y'all, the two places that I wish we would have been able to go to that we didn't go to was Detroit and either like Nashville or Memphis, like that area. Those are the two places that I was sad that we weren't able to go to.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the audience in those areas
Oh my God.
would have been top tier.
Oh, the audience is
Detroit's
insane.
audience last night was just, it was outstanding.
I believe it.
They knock me out.
Yeah, these shades, Kevin, don't seem too far from what I would envision a 1999 Kevin to be.
I would think if Kev was still from Detroit, he'd have these in transitions.
Yeah. If he was there, if he was really from, yeah.
Mm-hmm. At this point in his life,
At this
Oh yeah.
point.
and they would be Cartier frames.
Listen, I actually like the glasses. I'm not even gonna hold you. In 2023,
Kev, these ones fit better than the other ones.
From last night?
Yeah.
These are all the same.
But I'm telling you that they're sitting on your brow better. The other ones, I don't know if they got pinched or something, but they started.
These go with the shirt. Okay, Kevin. I feel like you about to do some shoulder pumps and singing. Yes, Jagged Edge. It is giving Jagged Edge. You see it.
Nothing's promised to you.
Yes.
So why can't we make this love go? All right, y'all ready?
Just real quick, Kevin. The things are turning out small again.
I'm sorry. Look now, because I have them. Sometimes when I'm trying to reorganize it, I put them into small images because it's kind of hard to do.
So you can see everything.
Yeah, but look at it now. See if it's back to normal. I try to put it back when I'm done.
Thank you so much. Yes.
That Friday Late Show was low key better than the energy was outstanding.
And the first one wasn't bad. It was just the late was better. I just want to satisfy you.
Oh my God. It's crazy. The things that I don't see. I'll talk about it when we talk about it.
When you don't see on the internet?
No, I'll talk when we jump to that topic, which I know we will in this episode. I'll say what I mean.
Okay. Ready?
Tell me
5,
again.
4, 3, 2. What up, y'all? Welcome to Here's the Thing. I'm Kev on stage. She's
a chick angel.
Smash that like button. Smash that notification button. Bangers, bangers, bangers. All 2023. Bangers, bangers, bangers. Just for you and me. Hey, hey. Bangers, bangers. What you want to do? Hey, hey, hey. Bangers.
Bang, bang.
Hello and welcome, friends. I am currently in Detroit, Michigan. Joshua has joined me. Angel is at her home in the fabulous Los Angeles, California. These glasses are not fake buffs. They are fake wires. I've learned a lot about these shades. Apparently, I upset the Detroit community. I was talking to somebody from Detroit last night. People were upset that I said I had on buffs because Buffalino horn is what makes them buffs. It's not the style of glasses, is what I thought. It's not that. It's the what is this? The frames. So if it's made out of Buffalino horn, that's buffs. If it's made something like this, it's wires and wood grain, I believe it's called wood. So
I'm also in Detroit. I will greet everybody by saying what up, doe.
What up, doe? So welcome. Angel, hello. How are you? How was Black Lady Sketch Show? How was your life? How was your party? You just having a great time in life?
Everything is great. Did an impromptu Instagram story invite of people to my house. People showed up. Melanie was here. Denora, Brisha.
Brisha's web.
Yeah, Brisha's Webb Jones, Quinn Walters was here, Marquita Bradford,
Bradley.
Bradley. I don't know why I said Bradford. Bradley,
Okay.
Rhonda. Anyways, it was a great time. My husband, we laughed, we were loud, we ate tacos. I made one of the best cocktails. The cocktail tasted like a vacation.
Mm.
It was good. Tequila, champagne. Somebody sent it to me on the DMs, and I
Tequila
made it.
champagne?
Tequila, champagne, orange juice.
Oh, tequila champagne.
Oh,
Yeah, it's tequila, champagne, orange juice, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's red and it's sweet and has color. Can't remember.
grenadine.
Thank you, grenadine.
I got you. I've partaken in libations once or twice.
It was so good, and it's the type that one will make you sat down.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
anytime you mix tequila and champagne, good tasting pieces aside, that'll skew your evening.
I had three. Amazing time I had. Amazing time. And not going to make the full announcement, but we have the date and the venue for the first stop of the Is This Going to Cause an Argument tour. And I'm so excited
Why are you
and
not making the
also
full
nervous
announcement?
because we're going to look at the venue today. And once,
Is
and
it
once,
in LA?
Mhm.
Text me the venue. I'll tell you if it's good, and you can announce it right now.
And Kevin, you're not on the road that day.
What's the date?
Gosh, you're not either. June the 11th. You have a show on the 10th.
Is
You
it
just
Monday
added another show.
or Sunday?
No, I didn't have another
No,
show.
no.
I want to
It's a
say
Sunday.
Yeah, we're
It's
on the road
Sunday.
8th through the 10th. We're in. That's the Florida weekend.
This is fantastic.
So you guys will be able to come. That was important to me. So I'm glad that.
I can't
We'll be
believe
there.
you're
I need a
going
+1.
through with it.
Oh, you have one. I'm so nervous.
You should be. You should be terrified. That
I
means you care
am.
about it and you want to make sure it's good.
Yeah, I do. But we've done a run through of it. We've done a couple of run throughs. We feel really good about the format of it. It is very participatory, very lively. We're excited.
As you should be.
So,
Fantastic. Well, let's get into the episode today. We have a lot of things to cover. Either of these could start with, but this one is a little bit more egregious than Brian McKnight. Okay, so if you're not familiar with a rapper by the name of Freddie Gibbs, his former girlfriend, I could say, she went into a whole spiel about their relationship yesterday on Twitter. However, what I first saw was this picture, okay? And she's the accompanying tweet. Let me find it for you. Essentially, she set up their whole relationship, but the tweet says with this: after we got back from Europe, his stateside tour started. Everything was good until we got jumped in Buffalo, New York. Here's me fighting, looking thick and orange. Freddie is in the back in green. Freddie Gibbs is the rapper. This young lady in the orange her name is the Fit Mommy. And as you can see, she is fully squared up with this gentleman. Apparently, he was getting jumped by Griselda. This is a rap group out of Buffalo, New York. That's Benny the Butcher. This is Conway the Machine and Westside Gunn, also known as Booty Tay 1, 2, and 3 to Angel. And Freddie Gibbs probably is Booty Tay 4.
Booty Tay.
So there was a whole thing about their relationship. Apparently, he sent her a picture of his butthole, and now he's been coined the name Spready Gibbs. But the thing that was most interesting, and this is mostly what I want to talk about, would you square up if your man was getting jumped? Angel,
Yes.
you see the woman, she's in the same punching thing. This is the punch that Tank hit Ryan Garcia in the liver with a couple weeks ago that knocked him down. She's a little high for that punch.
That's that Rumble form. She's been taking those Rumble classes.
Listen, She looks like the Notre Dame Fighting Irish logo. Southpaw stance. She's got a southpaw stance.
Put him up.
Straight. It looks like a straight left that she's sending. She's taller than the man she's punching. Also, apparently, Angel, they were eating barbecue. Her and Freddie Gibbs. The assailants got word they were eating barbecue. They pulled up, and she didn't move aside. Okay, she's right in the thick of it. No pun intended. So my question to you is, Marcus getting jumped. Where are you at in the fight?
If I'm aware, because there have been times where he could have potentially started a fight where I wasn't aware. I was sitting in the car with my stolen glass. But if I am aware, I'm not throwing punches because my strength is not up here. Strength is down here in these thighs. So I'll tackle you. Listen, I took a rape aggression defense course. It's called RAD, rape aggression defense, right? And we had to learn self-defense techniques to use if we're being attacked by a man. And I remember the police officers that were holding this class were saying, Angel, always lead with your legs because your legs are very strong. We had to do a simulated thing where we were in a dark room with just the police officers and gear. And they were like, if you feel like you are getting ready to be attacked, you don't have to wait to get attacked. You can fight first.
Mm-hmm.
And I kicked the dog shit out of those men until times got better. Until times got better. And they were like, yeah, so your strength is in your legs. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Donkey kicking.
So listen, now, if you get kicked hard enough, I mean, listen, a kick is just as effective as a punch. When you watch UFC fights, they kick infinitely harder than most people can punch. Even them leg kicks, even when they don't fall, it just be wearing you down. They be hearing that sound that when their shin hits their leg or shin hits their shin. So Angel just rearing back and just putting a boot through somebody's chest, especially this man. Angel, you've been doing your workouts. He's a small man.
Oh, him, I don't even have to use my legs. What I do understand, you saw me in the sock challenge with Marcus and how he threw me on the ground when I was trying to get his sock. But you also saw I kept them legs going. You know what I'm saying? I already knew if I didn't get low, it was going to be bad. This is the type of man, I got a good 60, 65 pounds on him. Maybe 100, actually. Let's be honest. I've got 100 pounds on this man. Just by throwing the weight of my body towards him, I'm already winning.
Well,
this fight.
I would say a note on this man's point of attack too as well. I felt like he knew not to go for the nucleus of the fight because he kind of knew his limitations and his restrictions with what he's able to do. And maybe he couldn't identify who was sitting down, but he's like, I don't know who this person is. Stands up. Oh snap! It's a woman, but she's actually swinging. That's why he's on the back foot. He's leaning back. His hands open. He doesn't know what to do.
I think he was going backhand slap her. I also have weak wrists. Y'all see these? This is the most delicate part of me on my wrist. So punching is going to hurt me more than the person.
Oh my God.
Either we're wrestling or we're stomping. You're never going to see me do. That's pointless.
I also have weak right here.
Evan, we are shaped this same, and I don't mean to like feminize you. If I were a man, I'd be shaped like you. If you were a woman, come on over. We're wearing the same clothes. We are shaped alike. But yeah, these wrists, you get 2 punches in, I'm gonna be like, no more. Ow. Yeah. So that I'm not doing it. Are you jumping in? Are you jumping in a fight if a bunch of women
were like knocking hoes out? Pink. No, I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't punch a woman, but I would grab and remove.
Oh, grab and remove.
I would definitely grab and remove. Let me tell you something though. Women be strong. Women win fights against men all the time. So if you get socked, if she connected with this, look, the body is the body. The strength is the strength. If he got punched by this woman, it's going to feel like he got punched by a man. It's not like your body's like, oh, that's a woman's punch. Listen, women be strong. I've seen, this is not funny. We talked about this in another podcast. This dude at my church, he was getting abused by his wife and he had started crying. And most men were laughing, like, not me, but other men were laughing behind his back because she was abusing him. But women punch hard. Melissa, when she play punches, it hurts.
That's not play then.
No. Her punch in excitement hurts.
Yeah, she just hurt. Everything hurts from her. Her little slaps, they hurt. So, but I'm not now in the heat of, if I get socked out and my jaw clicks, I might forget who hit me. Right? Like when that, if she hit him, right? And he might not remember, okay, you're a woman, let me not hit you back. But if that starts happening, because look at this woman, she's not a delicate rose, and she's not out there like to draw back. She's like, oh, we are fighting. Not you are fighting. We are all fighting, right? So 180 or 105. If you have your feet set and you turn, the key to punching is and this is why your punches will be strong, Angel. It's in the base. You turn your hips.
I know. Listen, I took boxing. As somebody said, Angel gonna take a class. For a while, I had a trainer for boxing, and I'm not talking about like cardio boxing. I'm talking about we're making contact. My wrist, because of how much power I was putting behind it, was like, you will never write again. Keep on. This is not how your body was made. I have power. As you can see, if it's from the hips, I got a bunch of them to put behind it. It just no, it hurts so bad. It actually, even though she's squared up, I don't see, how you can see the momentum in his body?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it in her body. No. So a part of me, it looks like she's going, put him up. Like she's just like really in the stance of, if you hit me, I'm going to hit you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel as though she got the best screenshot of what it could look like.
Who was taking the picture also?
I think this is a camera, like a security cam, but I feel like her screenshot opens conversation of how did that punch land? Because she don't got the rotation in the hit to release through the hand. She's kind of just turning with her hand. And I don't know. I don't know if
it's definitely not perfect form.
It might not even landed.
But the thing is, we don't know how quickly has this happened. My thing is, the more important thing is that she is ready. She might not have been perfectly positioned because look at the other dude. He's in even worse form than her. He's got his feet to the side. He's coming from down here,
and she was seated at a table.
Yeah, most people are not straight, boxing trained, and in an actual fight, a lot of times you don't have time to get into the proper position.
You're right.
To attack people. I was more impressed that she is out here socking.
I feel like there are a lot of women that will fight. You made a good point, Josh. That's another reason why I'm not going to throw punches. I don't have good aim. So, and it looks like her aim is at his face, which is not that big of a target. I'm not going to chance it. I'm not going to chance me putting all of my weight into something just for me. We played Top Golf. There were a couple of times I swung for my life and all I caught was the air and the wind. There was no ball that I connected with. I don't have time to do that. With punching? We're punching for why? For what? It's not happening. So I read through her whole story. I thought we were going to be talking about everything that happened after this.
Oh, no. Well, so there was a lot. I was mostly focused on this. So she also got her chain snatched during this. And apparently Benny the Butcher was wearing the chain. She posted a picture of the chain. And, I spared you some of the NSFW of it, Angel.
Well, listen, I had followed the story via the Shade Room. So when I saw it in the docket, I didn't click on the Twitter links. I saw this little fight picture and all that stuff. Well, when I clicked on the Twitter part, is when all of a sudden I see her bare titties.
Yeah, it's in 4K.
I didn't.
I was like,
now I want you to know, I left that out of you.
I said, well, there's no leaving it out. As soon as you click and you see this,
Don't.
Oh, hey.
This is the fight, you guys. But you scroll up and eventually you see areolas.
Yeah.
There's no like stopping it. But did you see the whole story about the baby and all this stuff?
I read the whole story.
You guys, did y'all read it? Patreon? Look, can we just discuss for a second?
We can discuss.
This woman, this woman, she does porn. She dates this man, Freddie Booty Tay, whatever his last name is. She shows us all these, like, as we called it when I was in college, all these cake and text messages that they would send each other. Oh my God, I'm obsessed with you. I'm obsessed with you. Oh, I just want to spend the rest of my life. Oh, and he's like, I imagine our son taking our son to a baseball game. Me, your dad, and our son. And they were like, oh, and we'll name him what the Peanut, Bunny. Penny, thank you. You said Peanut or Bunny. You see how my brain said there's letters like this in there. We'll name the baby Penny, like Penny Hardaway. And she was like, oh my God, Penny. Right. She's all into this idea. And she meets the family. They just love each other. Well, she gets pregnant. And this nigga turns into the wind. He was like, what? He was like, no, she was like, I feel like you acted some type of way. You're kind of ignoring me. No, I'm just trying to process it. He's like, this is a lot for me right now. I can barely take care of the 3 kids I got already.
All we are is dust.
He stopped caking immediately, Angel.
Nigga went on a gluten-free diet. He was like, cake. Cake causes me IBS. I can't do it. Gives me the runs. So
she's got kids.
He's like, I can't take care of the 3. And so she was like, well, if you're gonna make me get an abortion, then you know what, we need to break up. And so he was like, cool. When do you need me to take you to the clinic? So she goes to the clinic to terminate her pregnancy. She finds out that she's further along than what she had assumed. And she got to see a little more of a developed baby in her uterus. So she decided, I can't do it. And they ain't talked to each other since. But who she had talked to is his baby mom, who popped out of nowhere. Did you hear those voice messages?
I didn't read the voice. I didn't listen to the voice.
She came out of the ashes like a phoenix.
Oh my God. Let me play those, at least those, because this is where I was just like,
I saw the voice messages, but I was going over I had my set playing in my ears. So I was like, I can read, but I can't listen to 2 things. I got to make sure these people in Detroit get the show they deserve.
And you're going to be glad, but get ready, friends.
Okay.
Life, okay? I got 2 degrees. I own a house. My kids fucking love me. And there's no videos of me sucking dick on the fucking internet for attention. Look at God.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm the black woman you pretend to be every fucking day, bitch.
Ooh.
Every fucking day.
Sorry
Good
for
luck
the
with that. So even if I don't whip your ass, bitch, I beat you in life. Try me.
It keeps going. She's not done.
And before you sit up here and say I won't do nothing, bitch, nigga you lay up with every night pays my bills while you go home to that little raglan ass apartment.
Raglan?
Yeah.
Raglan.
L.
Sucks, don't it? Trifling ass bitch. I already know where Fred live, and I know you be over there, bitch. I'll come over there.
Hold on. Oh, somebody, who else?
I don't mind. He stay 15 minutes from me, bitch. You can get touched. So watch your fucking mouth and watch who you play with. And no, I'm not finna address you on Twitter. Because I know you want followers. And I know you want clout. And I know you want to be me so fucking bad. You want to be me so fucking bad it burns you up, bitch. Because you have nothing to your name aside from Reddit porn. That's literally all you've accomplished in life. It's being a hoe. And being a fucking nut rag to niggas. On film with that.
Wow, I haven't heard it used in proper context.
You fucking nut rag. You crusty sock ass.
This is
bitch.
not what I
That's
heard.
you is.
So sorry, guys. These are
High
new.
school diploma. You bombed out the fucking military. Your baby daddy is no.
You get it. These are not even the ones
NSFW. NSFW.
These are not the ones I heard. The ones I heard was you posted pictures of my baby daddy being in a fight and you effing with my paper, okay? Because he paid my bills. And if you gonna keep on doing that, if you gonna mess with my paper, because I don't give a about that, if you gonna do that, then I'm gonna touch you. Come to California, see if I don't whoop your ass. It was a bunch of that.
She sound like she from New Orleans. Sound like a New Orleans accent.
I know, but she live out here.
Listen, she's like, you are messing with the bread that comes to my home. Usually when you cheat and stuff, it's like, oh, you got my man. Have him. Don't.
She knows what it is, unfortunately.
The brand is what's important to me. You messing up the brand.
Yeah. I was like, wait, is this what's happening in the world? Is this what's I'm here in my little house with my husband and my 4 kids. Is this what's happening in the world, that people are leaving folk DM voice messages?
Angel, there's Solomon, Missouri, when Del Curry got divorced, Solomon, Missouri's world famous Twitter rant, Bud, you don't want to be out here. I think about it often, and I don't even be having issues or nothing. I'm just more grateful that I'm not out. This is foreign to me, and I am grateful. But also, I think I would rather be single than to be in a relationship that pulls this type of energy out of people. I'm 40. I don't have time for this. I like to keep a low stress, low profile life, meditation, hot yoga. This type of behavior, it's unbecoming. I can't deal with this. I wasn't raised like this. I mean, first of all, her words were more lethal than the woman's punches. She was precise.
Yeah, I'm not that good, and I know how to tear a nigga apart, but I'm not to that like quality of level. Like if I'm Mario, she's Super Mario. Like I don't, and if that's how I have to combat, I'ma lose. I don't like if I ever had to become the baby mama. I mean, I am a baby mom, but I'm like the baby mom, and I have to check this new chick. I don't think I could get to that quality of let me rip your soul from your chick. I mean, from your chest. You know what I'm saying?
You just stop.
I'm good. Yes.
No, Angel, the thing is, you ain't been pushed to that place yet. You're just imagining it, right? And it's hard to imagine how you would feel because it's not real. If it were real, I believe that Baltimorean you and that Tutty. You're an actress. You would be grounded. You would feel. You'd have a clear target. You'd have some new information, right? You see Marcus with her hugged up. Oh, you hugged up. You got the kids. Now you're starting to really be like, oh, okay. And now you'd have right now you're imagining. I want you to see it in real life. I'm just your acting coach here. I want you to visualize a Wahite woman. I think this girl might have been mixed, but everybody seems to. She posted her parents. It looked like she's mixed, but she kind of looks like Amber Rose, and not just because of bald head. I mean, but like the skin tone. But I don't think she's white from the pictures of her family. But now Marcus is hugged up. He's in Australia with her. You ain't been to Australia yet, and now he's in Australia. Oh, okay.
That's not happening.
Okay.
Oh, they're dead. They're dead. Yeah, no.
It's funny the energy you're portraying, but you're also just sipping tea. You know what?
They're dead. They're dead. We are cashing in our policy genius policy. That's what we would be doing. Yep.
I would be embarrassed to even have, like, honestly, if I was the man in the scenario and my baby mom was going at my ex-girl, I would be embarrassed about that. But also, I'd never have my life set up to where this would happen.
What do you mean?
Like, I don't know how many babies mommy has, but just why are y'all texting each other? Like, I just feel like I'd have more control over the situationship of my life.
You think so?
Choosing the people that I would be with. I'd like to believe it, Angel.
Melissa is crazier than I.
There's no doubt about it.
So you've already lost whatever situation you have in your head.
In fact, she might have felt an awakening in the force of the thought.
Like I'm saying, you've already lost. You cannot control her,
No.
Melissa. That's the key. The key is the first person.
Yeah.
The angels, the Melissas. There's no control. There's no amount of money that you could get to silence her.
Yeah.
She's going to act up if she wants to act up. So
1000%.
Yeah. Unfortunate for you. Fortunately for you, you're not going anywhere. But
And
yeah,
also,
no.
I don't send pictures of my butt. Somebody called this on Twitter. I believe it was a Tarico hairline. Because he was talking about sending the picture of the girl, the picture of his butt. He said, "Don't nobody want to see your chitlin sashimi." And I was like, "Oh my God,
That's really good.
Lord, y'all don't got to be this creative in the world. You ain't got to be."
So creative.
All right, let's move on. Also, this is just, you're right, Jasmine. Someone calling me a nut rag would haunt me all of my years. I'd cry silent tears tonight. That's an insult that would stick. Interesting news. Brian McKnight is not who I thought Brian McKnight was. Apparently, Brian McKnight's taking an interesting approach to fatherhood.
Brian McKnight.
Brian McKnight is hilarious. Brian McKnight is that's solid work, Angel.
Thanks.
He's taken an interesting approach to fatherhood. Let's just say, not only does he love, in one case, he's a great father to his new kids. And that is at the expense and in the face of his former kids. So let's catch you up to speed if you aren't aware. So, and BuzzFeed, shout out to y'all. I'm sorry BuzzFeed News went under. But this is an amazing piece of, like, I had a whole bunch of tweets and stuff, but they got it all for me in one thing. They don't do nothing else. They're going to get the story together for you. All right. So sharing the love of his stepchildren is great, but it appears like Brian McKnight is making an effort. He's got diss tracks going against his biological children. He is using social media to kind of
hey guys, it's Brian.
Hold on, I haven't seen this yet. So let me stay here. Let me focus here. All right. So this is not even alleged, right? These are like the posts he posted. So let's find it. All right, give me 1 second. Hold on. Okay. I scrolled to the bottom too far. All right, let's start at the top. All right, y'all with me? Is it showing good? Is everybody reading okay? All right. So over the last week to maybe 10 days, Brian McKnight's been trending. All right. According to Billboard, Brian had a major hit in 1999. He was called out for not acknowledging his biological children. Okay. Look at Brian. All right. Salt and pepper beard, mostly salt. So here's the post that kind of started it.
Sky Miles member, the things you love can lead to so much more. Miles earned here.
Hush.
Shouts to BuzzFeed.
Yeah, hush.
Getting that check.
They got ads everywhere.
Oh, man.
Here's the post. Now, this is his stepdaughter, right? His caption says, "Jules, I became a girl dad because of you, and I couldn't have asked for a better daughter." Excuse me. Visiting you on campus and seeing how happy you are living in this beach house with all your friends for your senior year reminded us both of how proud we are of the woman you have become and the incredible student you continue to be. Here's to you, Jules, the perfect daughter I always wanted. But here's the thing, no pun intended, Brian McKnight has another daughter, a Black woman. And if I'm not mistaken, she also goes to that college.
No, she doesn't.
No.
I know you were lying on Beyonce's internet.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Guys.
No, they don't.
Guys.
Kevin, stop lying.
Guys, I'm telling you. Girl,
where you see that information? It's not in this BuzzFeed thing.
Let me see if I can find it.
On Twitter, I don't know. I need a fact check.
Allegedly.
They don't go to the same college. Ain't no way.
We'll just say she's in. Let's just say, hold on. Let me see. I know I saw it somewhere. Hold on.
Joni, I don't believe you either. Or one lock wonder. No, I don't believe it. Show me them in the same biology class.
Show me a transcript with the head.
Yeah, there we go. Side by side.
All right. Let me find this. I'm sure Joy with me. Joy's with me.
Joy, no.
We just brought her up, Kevin. We just brought this people up.
I believe they both go to
do they all go to the same school there?
Santa Barbara. UC Santa Barbara. If I'm not mistaken.
I don't no. I have friends that went to UC Santa Barbara. They don't know about these new girls.
I have a very
Somebody said I need the student ID.
Yeah, I need to see it. We'll continue, even though we don't believe that part.
In fact, Brian McKnight has 4 biological children from previous relationship: Brian Jr., Brianna, Nico, and Clyde. Shout out to Clyde. I didn't know we was naming people Clyde anymore, but Clyde is still out here.
Love it.
Okay. All right. Brian is currently married to Leilani Mendoza, who has 4 children, 3 of whom are from a previous relationship. And her youngest, Brian, yes, they named another one of the sons Brian, a baby she shared with McKnight. And the internet is rightfully uncomfortable about Brian's effort to diss his biological children on social media. Okay, these are the woman's children, right? This is Brian, and in the stomach is Brian
Junior.
I guess not Junior, but also Brian. Okay.
Listen, I think he did.
What?
Are we sure he didn't drop Junior on this child too?
I believe he did. We'll get to that. But I know the baby's name is Brian. I don't know if it was Brian Jr., but he called him the true heir. So here is Brian McKnight, mayor, in Italy, where he's celebrating his stepson. And again, nothing wrong with loving your stepchildren. That's not the problem here. The problem is loving your stepchildren in a way that diminishes your biological children or acts like you don't have biological children, right? I'm a stepson to my dad. He loved me, but he don't love me, and he ain't got no other kids that he's making feel bad in the new family. Here's the caption to his son Jack Boy. My son Jack Boy, today you're no longer 20. You're no longer a teenager. You're 20. Do not look at this as getting older. This is a gift, the pathway that's leading you to be the perfect man that your mom and I have raised you to be. I say perfect because you are perfect, and I could have not asked for a better legacy, father to son, than you. I cannot wait to see the joy you bring to life and that life brings to you. We've taken you all over the world and let you know that everything that's out there is yours for the taking. So take it. Happy birthday, my boy. I love you. All right. Now, this is where Brian, not even in like gets bad. These are all equally bad, but this was kind of like, Lord, Brian, you just, whew. In a different post, Brian says, for the very first time in my life, I got to experience what it's like to want to and plan to have a child made from love, and how he's never been prouder than being a father to his stepchildren. Let me see if they pull up this post.
I'm so sick.
I'm
sick.
Here it is. Y'all look at this one. Happy Mother's Day to my beautiful wife. I treasure this picture. It was our last family picture before the birth of our son, Kakeo Mateo. Baby, you are the greatest example of being a mother I've ever witnessed. Today was supposed to be Keikoa, maybe Kakeoa's due date. And I know how hard him not being in the flesh is weighing on us. But I know that he's with us, just like Julie and Jack are shining examples of motherhood. See the courage to deal with the hardest loss we ever had in our life. I am in awe. Seeing the ultrasound from the first time, feeling Keikoa move and dance around as I touch your belly, holding your hand as you gave birth. Seeing me take his first breath, cutting his umbilical cord, kissing him, singing to our son. Continue. Here's the part in question. For the very first time in my life, I got to experience what it's like to want to and plan to have a child made from love. Even though he was separated from us too soon, I wouldn't trade that gift you gave me for anything in the world. Our son will always be a part of us and live on in our hearts forever. I've never been prouder in my life than I am right now being the father to our 3 incredible children. It is your wonderful light that shines on us, making us all better every day. Thank you for giving me this priceless gift. You are my hero. I'm so forever very much in love with you. Happy Mother's Day. My love. Okay. Hold on, Angel. Hold on. Stick with me. After the birth of his youngest son, Brian, he referred to him as his true heir. Dang it. Why y'all didn't put the caption here? Okay, let me see the caption to this one. Oh, he deleted this one. Ah, Brian, why you did that? Well, this is the picture. He said, this is the new baby. I don't remember if it's Brian Jr., but his name is Brian. He said, I love you, blah, blah, blah. You are my true heir. Knowing good and well, and even in Game of Thrones land, okay?
This is exactly what this feels like.
The first baby still gonna be the heir to the throne. This is the new baby. This is the Targaryen baby. This is what happened with House of the Dragon. This is
Cain and Abel.
This is the whole thing. But as long as your first son is still born, that's still a true heir. But you know what? We're gonna continue. Okay, this is the video I was showing. This is 6 minutes long, but he was talking about his estranged relationship with his biological children, and they're 6 minutes long. Do we want to watch it? What do we want to do, guys?
I don't. What the hell is he gonna say that I'm gonna hear about?
I ain't seen it.
I haven't seen it either, but it looks like Dookie is going to come out of his mouth, and more Dookie and farts is going to come out of his mouth. Now listen, I have trifling people in my family. I have an uncle who did the same thing when it came to. I have a cousin who is his junior that I grew up with. He's a little older than me, and then he had a second set of children.
Woo.
And gave birth to had another junior.
And
we were like, say what? Is what is happening? It's not to the level of this trash. Because there's never been I don't claim my other child. It just was I feel like a drug related bad choices being made.
Yeah.
But for this man, Brian McKnight, to purposefully, what y'all call it, subbing somebody? Is that what you call it?
Tweeting.
Yes, that's all of his posts were subtweets, because there's certain language that he's purposefully using that makes sure he's not inclusive to his other kids. To be like, this is the proudest I've ever been for relationship father to son. When you know you got 3 other sons,
man.
When you are claiming your wife's children and saying our 3 kids, well, that means that y'all have 7 kids, because you're saying your kids are my kids.
Yeah.
Therefore, my kids would be your kids. Yep. But you're purposefully pretending we can see that these children of Latin descent are not your biological kids, Brian. And so, like,
these children look like the cast of Moana, and I was completely.
Yeah, I think they're more Islander style than Latinx.
Polynesian, AAPI.
Oh yeah, Polynesian.
Don't meet them over here with us now. Them people is different.
But not only, oh yeah, somebody brought this up. His daughter had to sue him for defamation and got settled out of court because he was out here saying that she was sleeping with her cousin.
He was, yeah. I found out a lot more about Brian McKnight this week than I ever intended to know, ever. I just hadn't thought about him since his last song. I don't really think about Brian McKnight that much. And then when he came back up, I was like, well, I was doing better not thinking about him. I didn't know he was doing this. I don't follow him on the gram.
But we knew something was wrong when he sat down at a piano and said, Let me show you how your pussy works.
Definitely knew something was wrong
Since
there.
you didn't bringing me too far. We should have known then. Oh, he got his kids locked up in the basement. We should have known something was wrong. When you sat down at a piano and played that cruise ship music and tried to sing a song to it, we should have known then. That's the problem.
Oh my God. This is the thing. For better or for worse, the thing about social media that happened, it was good and bad for celebrities. The one thing that's bad for celebrities is back in the day when you had just a publicist in magazine stories, there was a lot more you could get away with because people just didn't know. They listened to your music. Like these rumors were spread, hand to hand, ear to ear, person to person. The thing about Brian McKnight is he's putting this out. When he was putting these captions out and posting this stuff, I didn't really know about his kids. I never thought about Brian McKnight's children in my life. I didn't know he had kids. Didn't think about it. So when
I do. He had a reality TV show with the original kids.
I did not know that until this moment.
I watched it.
I did not know this. But the thing is, he told us. He went out of his way to subtweet his children.
That's wild.
It's crazy.
It is. He could have left his biological children out of it. And what I mean by that, because he is, but what I mean by that is there are certain things you can say that don't insinuate that you're dissing your biological kids.
Mm-hmm.
He could have said all that stuff about that baby turning 20 years old and being like, I'm so proud of you and proud to say I'm your dad. Not to say that this is the true connection that I've always wanted, father to son.
Why you got to say all that? Even if
he wanted one last cry.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing I missed too. He said that all his songs before his current wife aren't about love because he didn't know what it was until he met his current wife. He said all my songs in the past were just like basically formulaic, paint by numbers. I knew how to write songs. I knew what people like, but I didn't feel it. But now he met her. Dog.
He is just a
piece of shit.
A mean, bad, rotten apple.
You remember the end of The Hangover when Ed Helms' character is just like, you're just a bad person. You're just rotten. Like, that's Brian McKnight. And the thing is, like, this ain't even alleged. These are his posts. You don't have to say alleged. We were reading his Instagram posts.
Yeah. When being in that position of being a child of his and witnessing this, they're not the only people with daddy issues. I have daddy issues. But to that point, I don't know how I'd be able to control myself. Me and my siblings would have to jump him.
Y'all be like that, girl. You be fighting like that.
Yes, we're all going to put hands on him, like stomp him, because I wouldn't know how else to deal with it. I really wouldn't, because I would be like, no, I want to embarrass you and make you as mad as you're purposefully and hurt you as bad as you are hurting me. Yeah. And eventually, I don't think I'd be able to control being the bigger person and being like, you know what? As I'm just going to put a tweet out or caption out for you all to hear my side of the story.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to have to fight. I don't know how else to handle it.
Well,
how else do you handle it?
This is re-triggering for the entire situation that's been going on. Imagine like this being your story as his first set of kids all these years, and now everybody's seeing it. All the secondhand embarrassment that comes with that. That's traumatic in itself. It's a whole separate different type of pain.
Yeah, I don't know how a therapist could talk. My therapist is great. There's none better. I don't know how she could talk me down from. I feel as though if she was really worth her money, she would be like, "It's time for you to fight him."
Or we ride at dawn, because this is also part of my story now.
Yeah, like you will feel better long enough that it'll be worth it. You know how sometimes people are like, that doesn't make you feel better. It doesn't change the situation. Yes, it would make me feel better. And the situation has changed because now he's hurt real bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I would continue to stomp on his hands until I broke all of his fingers and he could never play the piano again. He would have to press the Nokia key.
Be like,
boom, chicka, boom, chicka, boom, chicka, boom. Yeah, I just don't understand. I don't. And I'm not trying to promote violence, but that's how angry this makes me.
Nah, if I were his biological kids, like, you just gonna have to see me. You really would just have to see. You would, I mean, listen, you know, I'm gonna say this as delicately as I can. I am blessed to have a great relationship with my family. And I love my family and all this and that. They're great. I have a great stepfather, even my biological father, we have a great relationship. As I've aged and because of the internet and just growing up and going through life, I have realized that that is not even across the board. Everybody does not have a good relationship with their family. Some people who had children do not like their children. They have been terrible mothers and fathers. And your family is just your family because you are related to them. You choose your friends. Your family is assigned to you at birth. Some people hate their siblings, hate their moms, hate their dads. And as a person, if I was Brian McKnight, actual junior, and you named enough, and apparently he posted about Brian McKnight, new Brian, on Brian McKnight Jr.'s birthday.
Yeah. Diabolical.
The Bible says, honor thy father and mother. The next part of that scripture says, parents, provoke not your children to wrath. This man is provoking. He is provoking his children. So if you're provoking, I'm no theologian. Theological Thursday's been canceled.
Before started.
We didn't even get a full month of Thursdays. We had 3 Thursdays. We didn't even get through 2 pay periods. But I would deduce, if you're not holding up your end of the bargain, not the provoking, then my end of the bargain of the honor and thy father and thy mother, I ain't got to hold that up, because we both got to do our part. Now, you provoking me, honor go out the window. I'm a grown man, you a grown man. Let's see it. Even if I lose the fight, I want to punch you. Even if you win, I'm going to get some licks off. Your jaw going to click. You might win. You might even knock me out. But
at the least,
at the minimum, you going to feel
you're going to feel what you brought out of me.
Absolutely. And sometimes that's necessary to feel the consequences of your actions. And let's be clear. Y'all were like, Angel would fight her dad, but couldn't cuss out Marcus's new. I said, I don't know if I could be as creative.
Yeah.
The fighting part is easy. The creative wordplay is what I just don't know if I have that skill level. But to get to just wanting to fight, y'all know me. Pull that pin out of that 100%. Grenade.
And the stigma of, oh, their family, they get a pass. This isn't that.
No.
This is different.
No, we don't get a pass. And I'm not saying you got to disrespect, but listen, we were raised, you know, me and Angel, and even Joshy. Joshy's close to us in age. Joshy's gonna be 30 in 30 days. He's 1 month away.
Oh my God.
You know, last night on stage, I had a joke where I say,
I heard it.
I say 39. I've been saying 39, 38, whatever. And last night I said, you know, I'm 39. Oh no, I'm 40. Messed the whole joke up because it was the first time I've been on stage since my birthday. But anyway, we were all raised that you respect your elders, you respect them and this and that. And then as you get older, it's like, okay, now respect is given and respect is earned. Mm-hmm. That whole respect you, and you could, sometimes people take that respect you in any old kind of way and they just use it as a reason to treat people crazy.
No disrespect, no disrespect.
No disrespect, all disrespect.
Mm-hmm. Let me tell you, when I realized that Marcus wasn't raised that way, he was never raised and you have to respect your elders. He was raised that respect is a two-way street regardless of the age of the person. Mm-hmm. So if an adult is not respecting you as a child, you don't have to reciprocate. So seeing how quickly Marcus would gather people 20 years older than him when we were in our 20s, really unleashed something in me of, you know what? Why can't I? If I could clearly see you trying me and you're trifling, why can't I make that known to you? It was such a beautiful, freeing experience to watch. I mean, because literally, Marcus was very much so like, nigga, I'll come see about you. You keep on. And I'm like, this man is 50 something. And he gonna get seen by me. I was like, you know what? You're right. You're right. Because there are adults in the world that are trifling like Brian McKnight. And we've been taught to be like, you know what? You let your parent handle that. You let them handle it. But sometimes you can shut up, Damien. You can
Who's Damien?
Damien's in the chat. He was like, Angel has a joke about being an old woman in traffic. Listen, he did not give respect to me. And she was disrespectful.
I want to say, Brian McKnight, as a business person, right? If you hate your Black children, not fine, but okay, y'all are in a terrible spot. Whatever. If I wanted to see Brian McKnight, and I don't think I would have prior to this or post, but in the past, if I was going to a 90s concert and they were like, Silk and, Drew Hill and Brian McKnight.
Plus special guest. He might be part of the special guest. He might not be on the bill.
Yes. And he comes out. I would have said, woo, back at one. Now, and at this age, now, you don't have no new albums that are popping. You're at your phase of your career where it's just your true fan base that's coming out to see you, right? I don't be seeing Brian McKnight on tour things that often. He's at the point in his career, and this is not like shade. You go with the group of other people from your era, because most people of that ilk, they're not selling out enough by themselves, right? And listen, I'm not even saying I wouldn't do that. But the point is, if you want to continue to make money, you need as many people liking you as possible. He said, oh, forget all that. I hate my children so much. I'm willing to lose business so that people wouldn't know that I hate my Black children.
He's so arrogant. He doesn't think he would lose business. And you know what? Is his previous baby mom, is she deceased?
I think she's with us.
Oh, because I would be the loudest. If that was a man talking, like making my kids feel some type of way, y'all think I would be crazy about someone making me feel that type of way?
Oh, man.
You make my children feel as if their existence doesn't matter to you?
Yeah.
I am going to spend, first of all, I'm going to end up on some sort of welfare because my job now is to destroy your life, but strategically. This is when I'm just going to make sure things are going awry at every turn in your life. Every single turn. There's no way. Yeah. There's no way. You ain't talking about my babies. You can call me raggedy. I don't care if nothing that song you wrote had anything to do with me. But you're not about to make the babies that I pushed out of my body with your demon sperm feel as though they don't deserve your love and respect.
I'm just imagining a demon sperm like they swimming through the tubes with a vengeance.
Listen,
it's like Darth Maul.
Demon sperm for sure swim faster than regular sperm.
Yes, that's the only way he was able to make a baby at this age. I said, now listen. Hey, I'm not here for ageism. This is straight up biology. At a certain age, the quality of which our ingredients that we put into making a child, they have expiration dates.
Yeah,
they do. And so the quality of the child that you're going to get, unless you're using like science to get the best of you. Yeah. You're gambling. Okay. You're gambling real tough, tough. But anyways, reading about all that, you just wish that people were better.
You really do, Angel.
You just wish it. You wish that they were better. And when they choose not to be, you begin to think like, well, what went wrong? Like what part of your brain is turned off?
He said that his children were colossal brats and they were entitled. They have said that that's not true, things like that. And actually, that was another whole conversation about. We were having this conversation. I don't know, with a group of friends. I can't remember who it was. We were talking about, and I'm curious what you think, Angel and Josh. As a parent, right? Where do you think your responsibility ends when you have kids, Josh? If you have kids, I don't want to put that on you because it's taboo. But hypothetically, Angel, you actually have children. Where does your support?
Nigga, what? Where? No, but where does what?
I don't know why that was so funny to me. Are they here at my personal home?
Wait a minute, nigga. Who got kids?
So we were talking about the line between supporting your children and enabling them, right? So it's like, as you know, some people are like, I'm not going to force my kids to move out. You know, a lot of us were, you know, at least me and Angel, moving out really wasn't our choice. It was both of us, our parents left.
Yes, our parents moved out.
I was 19 and my dad was like, I'm going to Spain. And the army says, you can't come here. And your mom's going back to El Paso. And I know you're in college. And I know you live with me. I cannot help you. You can go back to El Paso. All he could really offer, and I respect him, he didn't have no choice in the matter. You can go back to El Paso and live with them. Or that's it. That is the only option. Or you can live here. And he wasn't even able to help pay for the rent. And I'm, again, not blaming him. This is just a situation. Angel graduated in college. Her mom was like, Alaska.
No, she graduated I graduated high school.
High school.
She was like.
And I was only a year out of my college year. Was the first month or two. I couldn't get in the dorms. I stayed with a pastor friend in Seattle. After that, I was able to go in the dorms. Couldn't afford that. Moved back home. And then that second year, towards the end of that, my dad was like, we got to go. So I was 19 when I had to move out. But my parents couldn't help. The question is, if you can help your children, where's the line between enabling and supporting? If your child's post-college, can they still live at home? Do they have to work? Do they have to pay rent? Angel, what would you do with your children?
My sons can live here as long as hell they want to. I don't care about the line. Okay. Where I care, this is where I would care about the line.
Would you feel like because of that, what if they're just like, I keep losing my job, and you feel like they aren't progressing because they know they can come home and stay home?
I don't think that's always the reason for why a person can't progress. Like, yes, when people have a safety net, they don't try to even use their capabilities to not have to use the safety net. But I don't think the presence of a safety net necessarily is what causes that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, so I'm not going that won't be my tactic into trying to get my kids to grow up, is to be like, the safety net is gone. When the safety net is honestly here, like that would be a lie. Like my kids are never going to be homeless as long as there's breath in my body. Right. Yeah. Eventually my kids will get tired of me. That's what's going to get them out of my house, because as long as they're in my house, they are my babies. And eventually they're going to be like, I'm a grown man and I am trying to date. Mark. And you continue to sit in here in my room when my girlfriend is over. And I'll be like, because it's my house. It's still my house. The door is about to get removed if you keep playing with me, because it's mine. But there's literally, they would have to piss me off to the point of no return for me to be like, get out. But if homelessness was their only option, and I can clearly see that, my kids is living with me.
Listen, let me tell you how I feel. whether, and this is not because I'm a man of means now or anything, the world is cold and dark and expensive. We family, listen, in America now, you really can't get your own place unless you're making good money.
Unless you're rich like Josh.
Unless you rich.
Who? Like who?
Joshua Robert Gonzalez.
A mortgage
Angel.
in Ventura County.
Yes.
But you know,
with a Tessie.
With a Tessie. Now I would, and let me tell you what, I learned a lot about wealth and generations and stuff when I worked at the bank. In a lot of cultures, other than Black people, and this is not blaming Black people, this is just what happened. People have money to help their children. So they are able to help them put down payments on their houses to the point that their mortgage is actually manageable, right? You can gift a person a percentage of your mortgage in your application as long as you tell them that. Like you tell the bank that. You can't lie and make it seem like it's their own. Or you can live with me through, or like simple things like paying for their kids' college so that when they graduate college, they're not saddled with debt. There's so many ways a lot of people are able to help their children. And then they know, okay, if I ain't got a good job, or if I want to pursue something in my career field that I really enjoy and it's not high paying, I can come home, right? My brother went through a rough spot. He didn't want to be a barber. He was trying to get this thing. He's 29, I believe, 30 years old, maybe 33 at the time. And he went back and lived with my dad. And my dad was like, come on in here. We got that room upstairs. Yeah. You still going to take the trash out if you're going to be home. And I think it's a blessing to be able to still provide for your children as they find, like I imagine you could take a little bit more risk if you know, okay, if it all goes to crap, I can always go back to my mom and dad's house.
Yeah.
Right. Listen, I'm blessed to own the home I own in Washington. You know, I got a couple houses.
You got 3. Don't.
Amen.
Right,
amen.
You own at least 3 houses.
Different area codes. Amen.
All of them.
I do.
The fact that my children asked, because they still haven't seen the house, if you all moved into another mansion.
But what I wanted to say about that is this. You guys can go into that house. That mortgage ain't that much. You know, God blessed. You know, whatever. The point is, in my current house, I don't know that Isaiah Fredericks is going to have a plan to leave. That boy got a nice room. He got the whole downstairs to himself. Hey,
you got utilities paid?
And listen, even if we didn't live in California, which is one of the most expensive places, LA, I believe LA is always in the top 5. It's never number 1. It's either New York, San Francisco, or Boston.
San Francisco, yeah.
But everywhere in America is expensive. Everywhere. So I don't think pushing your children out there into the struggle, if they're not ready, is necessary to help them grow. Somebody in the chat was saying in African families, they don't force their children to move out. They move out when they're ready. I like that idea.
Me too.
My children, you got 4, I believe, Angel. I got 2. They might even develop at the same.
What? What? It's crazy.
I just found out I had kids a couple minutes ago. Now I found out I got 40.
4? What, am I a hoe? How? Yeah, I like the idea of that. I like the idea of allowing my children to make that leap on their own. And I don't, in Black culture, and maybe in other cultures, but in Black cultures, our kids are adultified way sooner than anyone else, like way sooner than what I'm used to seeing. Like the things that I was quote unquote responsible enough to do at younger ages.
Yeah.
It's becoming different, I can tell. But I've seen younger generations not being as capable as I was or as we were at younger ages. Yeah. But while I want my sons to be responsible young men and I want them to feel confident to be on their own, it's a lot to it's a lot to manage. I am shocked at how many good decisions I made
Right.
that landed me where I am right now. And I don't know if I want to put that gamble and force my kids into that type of gamble of a situation of, okay, at 18, women, my mother left. Yeah, I just had turned 18. At 18, start making good decisions because this is your life. God's grace is what actually kept some of my decisions from impacting me in ways where they could have been way more life altering.
Yeah.
So if my kids decide, we might have, like you said, you have a child that you feel like would definitely move out as soon as they had the opportunity. I might have kids that are like that. I doubt it. I think all of my kids will take the extra time.
In Asian culture, they often have 3 generations in the house. They got the parents, adult children, and then the parents' parents. They got and they keep all that money here. And they usually, not usually, but oftentimes they're able to start businesses or maintain businesses because they pull in their resources together. And it's just common in Asian families. Like, we gonna stick together. Come on in here. Sex gonna be sexing in your room. You doing all that there. Angel, you gonna let them boys be making sweet love in your house too?
Mm-mm. They're gonna have to do it that whoever they messing with, they're gonna have to do it at their house.
Respectfully.
Because let me tell you, let me hear they having sex. They gonna hear me having sex. I bet you I can outsex them. I bet you I'll win that one. I bet you they'll be like, okay, we will stop if you stop being so loud.
Oh, Marcus.
Well, they don't understand. You got more skin in the game, no pun.
Hey,
they
get it out of that hole. That you ain't supposed to be on it like that.
Let the dog. They gonna hear. They gonna hear that.
Oh,
yeah. That's what they gonna hear.
Say hello to Chief Levi. I ain't seen him in the chat in a while. He's somebody I like. He's a keyboard
Chief
player.
Levi.
I had thought about him the other day. I said, Jay, what you doing? And he'd be up in here today.
Yeah.
You don't need to do those sounds.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be that. I mean, explicit. I'm talking about where your private inserts itself back into your body, but you're so disgusted that like it goes into hiding. It doesn't just shrink. It's like, get me away from what life is.
I'm gonna be like Ving Rhames in Baby Boy. Actually, my children.
You're like that now.
I'm about to say they see me naked all the time. They might be enough. They come in my room without knocking. Joe did it last night.
Why are they not learning?
Well, actually, yesterday it wasn't. The door was open. I was going from the bathroom to the bed, and he just happened to be coming around the corner. He's like, "Why don't you have no underwear on?" I was like, "I'm in my room." My drawers was hot. It was hot. I was finna go lay down and get the fan blowing, get it up in there. But I think they might be tired of that. But I don't think I'm raising black men, but I want them to be prepared. I don't want people to be out there and be like, "Oh man, Kevin, them sons, they ain't got no money, they don't know how to do nothing." I don't want that.
I don't care what people say.
Okay.
I be like, but they mama got money. And your broke ass, know your broke mama got money. So shut up. I don't care.
There's always that.
I do not care what people think. As long as my kids are good, wholesome human beings. I mean, I want them to make money.
This is so true, man. It's like, and we don't have to go into the bus conversation. But the bus conversation, would you date a bus driver, went on for far longer than I anticipated. She went on the Breakfast Club and tripled down. And she was like, she was saying, what did she say? I wasn't being mean when I was saying that people are normal and mediocre. All mediocre means is average. And as black people, y'all got to go to the dictionary. All mediocre means is average. And y'all are just average. And if we're going to just accept being average, then that's fine. But let's stop aspiring. And I realized that here's how I want to say this. How do I want to say this? Okay, let me just put it like this. Normal's okay. Regular, good paying jobs. You don't, the world is hard enough. You don't have to aspire to own a business and be filthy rich. You can just go to work at the bus, at the bank, at the trash, at 7-Eleven, Waffle House. Go to work, make your money, pay your bills, and enjoy your family. There's some people whose life, they just want to watch Alabama football on Saturday with a cold 6-pack of, well, I guess not Bud Light anymore, but whatever beer is not woke. They don't want to be millionaires. They don't want to leave Alabama. They just want to enjoy life. You don't have to aspire to anything more. Just surviving in America is amazing.
But that is not, this is the part that blows my mind. And I feel like it's the part that she's missing, is that someone's income is not what necessarily the quality that makes them average or above average.
Yeah.
Everybody is special in different ways. So she's looking for someone whose unique quality is a high earning income.
Yes.
That does not make everybody else regular smegula. They are extraordinary in a different way.
That's what I was going to say, man.
That's the part that like is blowing my mind, is that the value of a person is completely put on their economic status or their job choice. And some people have so much purpose that their job choice has nothing to do with how they actually activate and live in that purpose. They're two separate things.
Yes. And there's so much more to your life than your job type.
Yes.
Your income.
There's
so much more than your job type and there's so much more to life than your job type and your income.
It just that part blows my mind. And that is the reason why when we were having that discussion, we were kind of sitting on two different sides of it, just off the fact that people are equating, like when people say a lot of marriages break up over finances.
Yeah.
It's over how people manage their finances.
Yeah.
It's not about their career choice. It might be how they actually, if like they can't keep a job. So that's how you manage your money. You're not willing to keep revenue coming in, or they spend too much money, or they're hoarding the money and not allowing you as the other person to have access in the decisions of making money. But a person's actual job title is rarely the thing that will be the catalyst of a divorce.
But it's a bigger topic of conversation.
And at the same time, I also believe she's entitled to date who she wants to date. I think she would be miserable with a bus driver if he didn't own the bus.
Also, I was going to say, she also has engraved that in her brain.
That's fine.
She wouldn't be miserable. She would be miserable. Let me tell you why she wouldn't be. She would be miserable by, if he treated her good and made her feel good, not being able to marry the two thoughts of, damn, this nigga has got me feeling so great, but he drives a bus. She would be miserable because she wouldn't be able to marry the two thoughts of, oh, you fell for a man below your tax bracket.
Wasn't there a Tyler Perry movie where the mom was like, I think it was Lynn Whitfield. I don't know it's Tyler Perry movie, but I know it was Lynn Whitfield. She was like, and you married a bus driver. And I think it had to be because it was Boris Kojo who had a fro. He was like, yeah, that's me. I drive the bus.
That's me. That's me. Listen, you're right. Everybody has a right to her preference. She also has the right to get drugged on. And see, the thing is, ambition, this is what I said on the last podcast. It's the way she phrased it is the reason why she's getting drugged.
Yeah.
It's not, she was like, well, if he owns the bus, that's not what you're saying. You're saying you want someone who has drive and doesn't drive. You want someone who is as ambitious as you, because then it's going to motivate you in your ambitions. But to say that like, oh, he can't be no bus driver is she's diminishing her own thought.
Yeah. You know what's funny too about the internet? They'll always add more stuff that you didn't know. Apparently during COVID, she was married to a Wahite man. And when it came time to quarantine, he let, and these are words she said. I'm not even putting words in her mouth. She was on Wendy Williams I didn't know she was white at the time, but people put it together. And then on the Breakfast Club, they said her fiance was white. But he left her and went in quarantine with his adult children. And she was like, why didn't you put me first? And I was just like,
he don't want you.
Dang. Because he left and went back with his family, and she was feeling away. I don't know if that man rode a bus, but he drove a car away from you.
Wait.
In the time where, like, when who you quarantine with, that was your people. Because you said, oh, we don't know how long we're gonna be stuck together, so we gonna be stuck together here. So it's always interesting how much information you don't know. I didn't know about this woman before. Now let me tell you what I commend her for, and this is no joke. She said what she said. She doubled down on what she said. She tripled down on what she said. She has her way of thinking, and she did not let social media bully her into thinking a different way. Whether that's wrong or right, personal preference. But up to standing up to the whole world, what it feels like, telling you're wrong, not the whole world, because there's a lot of people who agree with her, and you can agree with her.
There's a lot of people who definitely.
A lot of people who agree with her, and a lot of people who aspire to have whoever they have. But let me tell you what, she was like, I hear you, I'm listening, and also, no, I want more, and y'all not gonna force me to that bus man. I don't want that bus man. I was like, respect to you, Ebony K. Williams. You went on the Breakfast Club and you said what you said, and you said it, doubled down, and then you said it again. And like it or not, I ain't changing. Angel markets are like that a lot too. They be like, and you can hate me, and that's fine.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm gonna feel how I say it, huh?
Yeah. But I definitely hearing her, because there are a lot of Black women. We are the fastest growing sector of entrepreneurs in the world. Black women are starting businesses. Black women are increasing their annual income at very fast rates. So there is a sense of, you need to offer me more than I can offer myself, right? There is that bit of a sense. And there is not that the wealth does not exist with Black men. The Black men also are creating wealth and becoming, men of status when it comes to what they are able to make for themselves. However, a lot of those men, and I keep saying this, they're not looking for the same attributes to be reflected in the person they date.
Yeah.
In the career arena. They are not, a lot of times these entrepreneurial men are not looking for entrepreneurial women. They are looking
for that woman to be at home and cook and be kept.
That's a lot of them. A lot of them are like, I've got this part down. Mm-hmm. I need you doing these other parts. So that's the only reason why I'm like, girl, like, oh, for me, if we want to consider one thing dating down, then we have to consider the other thing dating down. And I just don't like that term of being like, if somebody doesn't have the same financial status as you because of their career, it's considered dating down. Now, if they're trash, yes. If they're assholes, yes.
I think people will. Okay, a couple things. I agree. I believe some people will rather date a trash man that owns the bus, because in my society, that's
like a bad man, what you're saying.
No, not necessarily bad, but some people, how do I say this?
No, I just heard a different job description when you said trash man. That's why I thought.
Oh, duh.
No, like an asshole of a man.
Got you. Locked.
Yeah.
Locked.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Yeah. Because in their social circles, the thing that's easier to pass along, like even in Crazy Rich Asians, right? They like at that society, a non-rich person, you can't bring them around. So to appease themselves, their family, the way they saw themselves, they'd rather have the person that they think matches than a different person. You see what I'm saying? It's like a status symbol or whatever. Like in my social circle, and this is not even just Black people. I've seen this in other things. Like it's hard to introduce somebody who doesn't have a job that we all have. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes people will be like, I'd rather you. Now, if you own the bus, I can say, oh, this is my husband. He drives a bus, but he also owns some. Right? Where in some circles, the bus is a job for the city or the county. And in some places, just getting a job at the city level is like, I mean, we made it. You work for the city, you work for the state, you work for the university, you work for Boeing, you work for the bank. When I got a job at the bank, my mom couldn't have been more proud. Oh, Kevin worked at Bank of America. He's a personal banker at Bank of America. That's my grandma. I might as well have owned to her. I owned Bank of America because in my family, that bank job, it was good. Boeing job was even better. And I made 30 grand at Bank of America, but I had my own apartment and then I had my own little 2-bedroom house. This is fine. In other circles, that's not enough to be proud of. Right. But I tell my son, listen, JoJo, he be like, I could be 3 things. I could be a professional soccer player. Actually 2 things. He's like, I could be 3 things. I'm sorry. Professional soccer player. I could be a podcaster, or I would like to work with dogs. JoJo could work at a dog hotel and train dogs and care for dogs and be just as happy as he could be. It wouldn't make him never mind. Isaiah more than likely will be doing something creative, making movies, writing movies, or WWE creative. But also, if he worked at Best Buy or at a camera place, he probably would be happy. And to me, as long as you are an upstanding citizen, a nice person, you love your family, you treat people well, where you work at isn't my thing to be proud of. You ain't got to aspire to do what I do. You just be good and nice, man, and be well.
It's crazy in these conversations. I loved when I see people say things that we're not saying. There are definitely men that don't mind having a woman that makes it a substantial amount of money and are happy that she is. It's just a lot of men aren't focused on getting that. Yeah. It's all about where like kind of your focus lies.
Yeah.
And I feel like because we still are very influenced by the patriarchy that this country was made under, we as women still have the strong mindset of the man has to provide for me. I still have that mindset, like stable money has to come in. So we end up valuing that. And a lot of times other attributes don't have as much value, but those attributes usually are tied way more to the consistency of our happiness. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Having a man that is paying the mortgage, helping you get your, hair and nails done, obviously that probably does make you feel good. But if he's creating a bunch of babies outside of your marriage, that makes you feel big bad, really big bad. Or if he's abusive, really big bad. So it's and I speak from a woman's perspective because one, we're talking about Ebony, not to say there aren't a lot of flaws on the way, because a man also will take a woman who looks really, really pretty.
Yes, 1,000%.
Really pretty, but has nothing to offer, and she's a bitch.
Angel,
listen, they can show off.
I want you to stick on this point because you're making a good one.
Men will definitely, they will. We watch it happen all the time. We watch it happen with men who have newfound success. We watch them leave the person that held them down, that looks like the regular you and me. As I call it, we domestically cute. She looked regular. And they will leave her for some ethnically ambiguous, just straight up white woman because they feel like it's a level of status. I remember, I don't remember which Black comedian was telling the joke about how they knew how famous Eddie Murphy had become because he was dating white women. They're like, when you get to the white women want you, that's when you know
that's where
you at a different status, right? So we do it on both sides, but a lot of that has to do with truly patriarchy of what the two genders are saying are valuable. But at the end of the day, it is not what causes longevity in marriages. Like it's just not.
It's just not. I'm gonna tell you what. I've been married. It'll be 19 years next month. There's not enough money in the world to keep you happy in a relationship you're not happy with. You still gonna have to work on happiness. Money might not add the added stress of like, and on top of us not getting along, we have bills and that type of stress, but it doesn't absolve you of the work. We no longer have to struggle and worry about where the bills are coming from, but it doesn't mean you're not like, oh, okay, you hurt me with this. We didn't talk about this. This make me feel this way. You're not, whatever the feeling is, money doesn't remove you from that. And eventually you're like, you know what? The money ain't gonna be enough. You still have to do the work. And that's the whole point we've been talking about. But you know what? Date who you want. Date the bus driver, date the drug dealer. It ain't got never mind. But the only problem I had with what she said, this is my only problem, and we can be done with the bus thing forever. The way she said it made it seem like people who drive the bus weren't worthy. Like they were beneath her. That's what the way she phrased it made it seem, and maybe it wasn't her intention, blah, 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 blah. But if the way she said, if he owned the bus, it was that like, oh, so if he just drive the bus, he's not good enough. You could have said, no, I don't think a bus driver is for me in my social circle, in my life, what I want. I think I'm looking for a man that's like that, but all power to whatever. Yeah. The way she said it was so condescending. And I think there was a way to answer that question in a way that didn't demean people who drive the bus. Because
she looks down on them. She said it that way because that is how she sees them.
She did. And then go to the dictionary and act like calling somebody mediocre is not an insult. Like, come on now. There's a lot of words that are defined one way, but basic. I'm not calling you basic. All basic means is normal in that in our society what basic means. You know what mediocre means.
Right. It's like
you come home with C's and D's. Okay, you're making it seem like if you're a C and D student, the only job you can get is the bus driver. Come on. Now if you're gonna stand on it, stand on it.
Right.
Don't act like that's not what you were saying because you were being demeaning and that's how you see them. Just say that's not, and just stand on it all the way then.
Yes.
Stand on it all the way. Don't act like, oh, that's not even what I said. Y'all don't read because you don't know what mediocre means. Come on now. Don't play in my face.
She gonna play in your face.
Yeah, just say I don't want to date bus drivers because that's not my desire. I desire to date a man who owns his own business, who has a certain income, because that's how I live my life. And most people date within their socioeconomic background or they aspire to, and that's not the person for me. Fine. I don't even think that this would have been
absolutely not
if she would have said that, because people get that.
Period. We didn't acknowledge.
Okay, and there's another point. And sometimes people do project, right? This woman, I don't know how. That's a lot of letters at the beginning.
Abashid.
Abashid.
Abdashid. Abdashid.
And that's a good point. People do project and make it facts, but what she said and the way she said it was demeaning. That was demeaning.
To call someone mediocre, demeaning. And she's not a stand-up comedian. She's not doing wordplay to try to it was her brain said what her heart felt.
Right.
And people called her to the table for it.
Too.
Yeah.
It was that.
If he drive a bus, we can't pretend like there are people who really do feel that way, who really do feel like they are beneath. God.
That
I be the shit.
I read it, but you guys moved past it. I was like,
I didn't that. I didn't know if it was Arabic. I thought it might have been Arabic. I've been Idashid. I thought it was Idashid.
I be the shit.
But that makes way more sense. It was pushed together. I needed a space, and it was. I get it now. That's clever.
It's clever. But off of the bus lady, if we're done with the bus, we didn't acknowledge that my dear friend Kevin Fredericks was on a Black Lady sketch show last night.
I haven't even seen the episode.
You in there? Your face is in there.
I hadn't even seen it.
You all up in there, sir. Yes, you are.
How was it? How'd it come out?
It came out good. You look really nicely shaven. You look astute.
They filled my beard in on that.
Oh, you can tell. Your beard was shiny and black.
They filled it in with the that's the only time I do Beijing is on production. At that time, my beard was acting up.
You look like you were on the set of Bel Air. You know how they be feeling that. Them men on Bel Air, I'd be like, what in the Sharpie? Why do they have freshly laid tar? Colton's hair is so like black. It goes from skin to black. Jeffrey looks like he could detach his beard and set it down until it's his time to shoot. That's how much they fill it in. It looks detachable.
I gotta watch it. I gotta watch it. Shout out to Robin Thede, man. She done gave me. I be getting residual checks, and I be like, you know what? This is all right.
Yeah.
This is
shout
all
out to the writers. No telling when that's gonna be.
Listen, that's a whole nother thing I want to talk about. Boy, we ain't got to get into it today. But boy, them streaming. There's two things I want to say real quickly, then we can go over an hour and a half. Some of it, the majority of it is corporate greed, right? Some of it is media has changed, right? And obviously media changed, and the corporations were like, this is our opportunity to get money back. But the one thing that I hadn't thought of at all, because I've been reading a lot. Melissa sent me an amazing podcast on it. I'll put it in the Patreon if you guys are interested in it. But one thing I hadn't thought of is the way residuals work changed when streaming companies became global companies. Because if you were on Seinfeld and it went into syndication or the Cosby Show, the reason those shows were so lucrative for the writers and the actors as well, is because after it was over, they would sell that to another network, and they put it in Canada and the UK, and they play, and every time it aired, you got paid. Like, you know, Martin's on MTV all the time at night, and every time it played, they send Tisha Campbell and Martin, they all get a little check. And don't be crazy all the time, because the more it gets sold, the less it goes down. But them shows that get sold and over and over and over and over and over get repaid. What happens is these streaming shows are sold to Netflix.com, which is a global company. You are paid once. It doesn't go into syndication. Syndication does not exist for a streaming show. The problem is they have taken that and they say, we're also not going to break you in on the views and how many times it's watched. You get paid once and your residuals are minimal. So when you have a smash hit like Stranger Things and Wednesday and, you know,
even Abbott,
even Abbott, but I mean Netflix specific shows first. Bridgerton, they're not resold. They are only on Netflix. And then with Abbott comes on Tuesday on ABC, Wednesday on Hulu, Thursday on HBO Max, Friday on, it's on like everything by Friday. And there'll be an article. Me and Josh were talking about this last night. Abbott gets watched more on Hulu. Like it's 300%. People just wait for it to go on Hulu. They're not watching it in real time as much on ABC, but they're not paying you nearly as much for that huge increase on Hulu as they are for the network thing. So the writers specifically are not getting paid. And also the actors' residuals are not as much either. That's probably SAG. I would be surprised if SAG didn't strike when their contract is up too, because the residuals are small when it's all in the Netflix universe and the Disney Plus, and them things ain't getting resold no more. Like even The Office getting resold to Netflix, you got to pay them. But if it's made for Netflix, you ain't getting paid as much. And now that it's on Peacock, it's back to the network that bought it. They decide how much they pay themselves, and they pay themselves nothing, so they ain't got to pay you.
There you go. How long, if you had to make a guess, how long do you think this strike is going to last?
I think it's going to go. My calculated guess is at least until the last one was about February or March. I think it's going to go at least. I would be surprised if the corporation buckle, because streaming is the future. So what you set now, and also listen, people be tired of streaming. There's a thing called subscription fatigue where people just like, I'm not buying nothing else. I have too much. There's too much content. So they're trying to hedge their bets, because if you notice, they did a lot of layoffs. They cut a lot of shows. HBO Max was taking all kinds of stuff off. Discovery merger. So
yeah, Discovery was.
They were chopping shows and cutting jobs. So they're trying to mitigate their loss. But at the end of the day, it's because they're greedy and you want to make sure you keep as much money as possible. The thing that makes it hard for the studios is
you didn't answer the question. What was the answer?
Oh,
He said February, March.
Oh, you think it'll end February, March of next year?
Yeah, I think February, March. I can't see it being less than 6 months. I would be surprised. And the thing is, the studios have a lot of content. There's still a lot of stuff to watch.
Yeah, I think this will be at least a year.
Yeah. When it starts to hurt, you're going to lose advertising dollars, right? Well, actually, here's the thing. This is crazy. The advertising dollars don't hurt as much if you're on streaming because it's not airing. Like what made them come back to the table in the first strike is the company started being like, well, I'm not advertising at that rate for reruns. And now the studios start hurting money. But there's a lot of stuff that's already on the streaming that if there's nothing new, people be like, well, ain't nothing new. So let me watch the show. Like there's probably a year or two's worth of content that I could watch that I just can't watch because there's so many things out. So I think they have a little more leverage than they did in the past.
They knew this was coming and they prepared to be able to deal with this for a very long time. And they are going, I really see them holding out for a while. They're going to retire some writers from this strike.
I think so too. That's the thing that's crazy. This writer was saying, like, in these little mini rooms, whether you've been a writer for 20 years or 2 days,
you're the
same. And that's just not how it works in this business. So
it doesn't work like that in any business.
In any business, really?
What? It doesn't work like that in any business. Your seniority and your experience have a monetary value that is greater than someone with less seniority and less experience.
Yes.
I mean, it's a good place. Listen, let me tell you about the God I serve. And let me tell you about tapping into his voice. Is back in 2009 when I started as a content creator. I was pregnant with little Marcus. I started expecting the unexpected, and I started my YouTube channel at the same time. That's why my YouTube channel URL is The Pregnant Angel, because I was pregnant. I kept saying, I do not know why I'm doing this, but I'm just going to keep making content. I'm going to keep making videos. I don't know. It was for times like these that God had me start back in 2009. Because we're not unionized, we can do whatever. I mean, granted, these platforms have our content, and without these platforms, it's a lot harder to like navigate to try to get people to come. Like during the blogging years when blogs were the titans of the industry, people were coming to your individual webpage, but now with social media, we are very much so dependent on being present on the most popular platforms that exist. So we are a little bit beholden to that. But because we're not unionized, we have the capability to have another stream of income that is not so much
directly to the people.
Yes, we could direct. Now, granted, are we possibly getting the amount of ad dollars we deserve for the content that we're putting on these platforms? Highly doubt it. Will that ever change? Highly doubt it.
No, I actually do. I do believe it will change.
What makes you think that?
I'm gonna tell you what I think. I'm gonna tell you why. It's already happening. Podcast revenue, in theory, down year this year. Strike affects everything. Big down this year, brand deals too, but the money flows to the eyeballs. So if people like this Old Spice commercial that I did on my Instagram, one of my favorite brand deals ever, shout out to the person who did it, Black woman. She convinced the people that if you just let him make the ad the way he makes his content, I guarantee you it will do better than most ads. If my audience, I can market something to them more easily than they can. And also a lot of people, somebody just said it. They were like, I watch all my podcasts. I watch a lot more podcasts than anything else. So, you think about like Chime and Honey and all these things, they start off as podcast ads first, HelloFresh, then they become big, Mint Mobile, TV ads, then huge companies. I think in the future, I'm hoping, I'm banking, people who have created their own audience will be the ones who hold the keys to the future. Because
that's not the money I was talking about, though. But I get what you're saying.
No, you talking about advertising dollars, right?
Yeah, but I'm talking about the ones that are embedded inside of the platform. Those are the ones that we're not getting. You're talking about being able to go straight.
Oh, I see what you mean.
The brand. Yeah.
I see.
I'm talking about the ads that are being ran inside of the platform off of our content. Gotcha. We're not getting. We should be getting more.
Yeah.
Because if the content, these platforms are no longer making their own original content.
Yeah.
We are making that. We are the writers. We are the producers. We are the actors. They are just the network. And if we were to stop creating content, all of us at once, there would be no ad dollars for them to have.
I get you. I got you.
So that's all I meant. But yes, no, listen, while podcast dollars have been down for me this year with ads, brand deals, these babies is coming at me like I am the hottest chick on the block. And I'm like, come one, come all.
You're that chick Angel, though. They can't take that from you.
I'll be, what is Freddie Spready? That's me.
That's who
else from me?
Freddie
My
Spready.
exclusivity's almost up. Come on.
Oh, yeah, all right, y'all. We got to go. I love you. Thank you for watching. We will see you on Tuesday. Have a great day. Wash your nethers. And we'll see you at the appointed time.